Answer objections. Do be aware that when you represent objections successfully, you still need to be able to answer those objections persuasively. After all, when you write objections into a text, you take the risk that readers will find those objections more convincing than the argument you yourself are advancing. In an editorial quoted above, for example, Joe Jackson takes the risk that readers will identify more with the anti-smoking view he summarizes than with the pro-smoking position he endorses. This is precisely what Benjamin Franklin describes happening to himself in the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, when he recalls being converted to deism, a religion that exalts reason over spirituality, by reading anti-deist books. When he encountered the views of deists being negatively summarized by authors who opposed them, Franklin explains, he ended up finding the deist position more persuasive. To avoid having this kind of unintentional reverse effect on readers, you need to do your best to make sure that any counter-arguments you address are not more convincing than your own claims. It is good to address objections in your writing, but only if you are able to overcome them. One surefire way to fail to overcome an objection is to dismiss it out of hand, saying, for example, "That's just wrong." The difference between such a response, which offers no supporting reasons whatsoever, and the types of nuanced responses we're promoting in this book, is the difference between bullying your readers and genuinely persuading them. Often the best way to overcome an objection is not to try to refute it completely, but to agree with part of it while challenging only the part you dispute. In other words, in answering counter-arguments, it is often best to say yes, but, or yes and no, treating the counter-view as an opportunity to revise and refine your own position. Rather than build your argument into an impenetrable fortress, it is often best to make concessions while still standing your ground, as Kim Chernin does in the following response to the counter-argument quoted above. While in the voice of the skeptic, Chernin writes, "Admit it, you like yourself better than when you've lost weight." In response, Chernin replies as follows, "Can I deny these things? No woman who has managed to lose weight would wish to argue with this. Most people feel better about themselves when they become slender. And yet, upon reflection, it seems to me that there is something precarious about this well-being. After all, 98% of people who lose weight gain it back. Indeed, 90% of those who have dieted successfully gain back more than they ever lost. Then, of course, we could no longer bear to look at ourselves in a mirror." In this way, Chernin shows how you can use a counter-view to improve and refine your overall argument by making a concession. Even as she concedes that losing weight feels good in the short run, she argues that in the long run, the weight always returns, making the dieter far more miserable.